Hi, what's up? I'm Brian. I'm the Theoretical Gamer. I'm going to talk about immersion. It seems to be the topic du jour on the RPG Brigade. Um, I'm going to begin by telling you a story of my youth. I was in my early 20s. This was like in the early 90s, way back. I had just gotten out of the Navy, and I had returned home, and I played the occasional game with my buddies. There was a couple of friends, and we played various games, but one game that we played was the Star Wars role-playing game. It was the West End version. It was it was back, the back when you used that kind of whole D6 system, and it was a pretty good game. We liked it a lot. We liked it a lot. It was the character generation system was template based, which I like templates because they tend to be more true to the setting. They tend to be, and most of the templates were human, which I talked about this before. You get in these games and no one wants to play the human, right? But if you wanted to play a smuggler, the smuggler template assumed human. If you wanted to play a bounty hunter or a Jedi, it assumed human, which is very true to the Star Wars setting. That um, most of the characters are human, and if you aren't, then it's that's your thing. You're the other. Most of the characters, the ones that you follow and get into, are human, and that's just how Star Wars is. That was a little side note. I'm playing a kind of. I think the template was called Quixotic Jedi. He basically was kind of a slightly crazy guy who had some Jedi abilities that were self-taught, but he wasn't really a Jedi. He was just a slightly crazy guy with some natural talent. And the other guy, my friend, was playing a bounty hunter, and there was just two players and a game master, and we were having fun. And this was back in the day before the prequels were even conceived of. It was so we really didn't have any, and we didn't know much about the expanded universe, and we just knew the movies, which was great because we were free to expand the Star Wars universe in any way we wanted. Um, we were we were basically exploring some long abandoned underground war bunker, and discovered basically a barely operational, it had been in hibernation for a long time, war robot that came to life and started attacking us. Well, we go into and the game master Randy, he's expecting us, we going to roll for initiative mode, and my character decides he wants to try to sense something about it and figure out what's going on, and basically using his force sense power, and basically able to a limited degree read the mind of the robot, which, yes, the robot was basically a cyborg with a human brain who had been driven insane. He had been like a volunteer soldier who had been driven insane by years and years of solitude, like rusting in this bunker. And so he's just getting these insane flashes of memory of the wars he'd been in, and the procedures he's undergone to try to convert him into this monstrosity. And and Randy was basically just throwing this kind of thing to make it seem like a tragic monster, and to throw it in for flavor. And all of a sudden, it's like I'm just kind of getting up and running around, because even when I'm totally into a game, I tend to physically get up and move. So I'm totally running around, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my character, he kind of acts out of character for that character because he's play acting. He immediately goes into total drill sergeant mode. Soldier, what the hell are you doing? You stand to attention! Right? Totally going all drill sergeant on the robot, trying to shock him out of his madness by behaving in a way that a soldier would respond to. And Randy, the game master, was like, he was not expecting that. But he went with it. And the monster just froze and was like, and we managed to talk him out of his madness, and eventually managed to get this big hulking metal ally out of him. And we basically, it was a totally immersive, for me anyway, it was a totally immersive moment. And as soon as it was over, we kind of came out of it and was like, that was awesome. You know, it was one of those moments that you remember. And so let's talk about immersion. You see, that moment just would have happened. I mean, it was a good ideal conditions. We were young, enthusiastic. We were basically over at Randy's house, and we were the only ones in the house, and there was no people walking in and out, and we weren't playing any music, or the TV wasn't on, so there was no distractions. Some people will say, go further, let us light candles and play ambient music in the background to encourage the immersion. And I don't think immersion can be forced. There's a number of people talking. Like I saw a video by Ghoster74 recently, and he was talking about how he prefers to have face-to-face rather than online games because he wants to get totally into the immersion. And the way he was talking, it seemed like, I mean, with all respect, Ghoster, it seems like you're kind of chasing a kind of platonic ideal of the perfect role-playing experience that can't be forced, and if you could reach it, you can't really maintain it for a long period of time, and I don't think you'd want to. It's like, yeah, those moments are beautiful when they happen, and they're the moments that you talk about for years afterwards. But the whole idea of like going total master thespian method actor and leaving the self and leaving the reality behind to become I don't think it's possible, and I don't think it's even desirable. And it's like totally like, yes, I will get into character. I shall leave the gross matter of the world behind. I shall delve within myself. I shall find the truth of my character. I shall become Hondo Godslayer, 9th level fighter. If you want to read a really good essay on the subject, it's I'll put a link, and it's called. I've mentioned this blog before. It's by Zach Smith. It's by D&D with Porn Stars. He does basically an essay on his blog called it's called Like Playing Monopoly with Squatters, and to him, he thinks that one of the awesome concepts of a good role-playing game, and the thing that makes it unique as opposed to, say, full-on method acting or playing any other type of game, is resisting immersion, to the degree to which you resist immersion. Because it's not just getting into character and exploring the world and, becoming someone else. It's being you, reacting to that. To use his term, it's like getting Lord of the Rings and the Mystery Science Theatering of the Lord of the Rings at the same time. You're playing Hondo Godslayer 9th level fighter, but you're also you, enjoying the antics of Hondo Godslayer 9th level fighter. There's a part of you that will always not be in character. There's a part of you that will always, and that part of you will be entertained, and that part of you will also kind of, if Hondo's in-character actions get too out there so that they would screw up the game, or they would screw up other people's enjoyments of the game, then the part of you that's hanging back can kind of nudge Hondo back in, can come up with reasons why Hondo might do something different, which may not be perfect character immersion, but sometimes you got to sacrifice that for the good of the game, the other players. Anyway, these are just my thoughts. Thank you and good night. Peace out.